A man arrived home to find his wife crying on the couch. She sobbed at the pharmacy. He totally insulted me this morning. It was terrible. I had to call multiple times before he would even pick up. So the husband got mad and he drove down to the pharmacist to confront him and demand an apology. But before he could really get out what he was trying to say, the pharmacist said, "Look, listen to my side." He said, "This morning the alarm didn't go off, so I was late getting up. I went without breakfast. I ran out to the car, realized I locked my house keys and my car keys inside the house. I had to break the window to get in and get my keys. But then I was driving too fast to get to work, and I ended up getting a speeding ticket. About 3 blocks from work, I got a flat tire in the process." He said, "So I finally got to work. There's a bunch of people in line waiting for me to open this door. Phone's ringing off the hook. I had to make change. I dropped the change all over the floor. When I stood back up, I cracked my head on the cash drawer. That about knocked me stupid. Phone is still ringing, so I finally picked up, and it was your wife asking how to use a rectal thermometer. And I swear all I did was tell her."
It's time now for our Buckeye Game Day Eve preview with Hall of Fame running back Jeff Logan. And as always, before we look ahead, we look back over our shoulder. And Jeff, a weird game against UCLA last week because it was announced, the night before the game? Their quarterback, by far their best player, wasn't even playing.
Yeah, it really came as a surprise to all of us, and Ohio State didn't learn of it until late Friday, early Saturday morning. So it changed a lot of their preparation because Nico Iamaleava is a dual threat quarterback, and the guy that they put in had never thrown a pass in a college football game, and he was a 6'6" pocket passer. So it changed a little bit of what you were going to do on defense. But, Ryan Day has continued to preach that it's not about who we play. It's not about the opponent. It's about ourselves and to make sure we go out and execute the things that we need to do. So yes, there were some changes to the game plan, but it was still UCLA, and they turned out to be not a very good football team, and we were able to put them away fairly early and get a lot of guys in the game, Woody, which I thought was one of the most important things to get some experience for some of those younger guys.
Absolutely. But the injury bug, which really hasn't raised its head all year, did, and that's concerning.
Yeah, it is a concern, and we really don't have any updates because they are so tight-lipped about that. And I understand what it's all about, but Carnell Tate has not played in 2 weeks in a row. They say it's not a long-term injury, that they're just resting him and making sure that he's ready for the stretch run. And then Jeremiah Smith, who is the best receiver in all of college football, was a questionable on the availability report before the game, but did play through the first quarter, had 4 catches for 40 yards, and then took himself out of the game and was noticeably limping when he went into the locker room at the end of the game. So we'll see how they progress. I got to be honest with you. They should not need either of those two against Rutgers, and I would be surprised if either of them played in the game on Saturday.
Talking to Jeff Logan, previewing Ohio State and Rutgers coming to town for a big noon kickoff tomorrow. And Jeff, let's talk about Rutgers. A fine coach, a former NFL coach, but for whatever reason, they just can't seem to get over that hump.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And Greg Schiano is the best answer for their program. He knows it. He believes in it. I think the community believes in him. But can they be competitive? Their goal is to get to be bowl eligible. And they are 5-5 right now. They've got to win one of the next 2 games in order to get to that magic 6 number to be bowl eligible for the 2025 season. And, they got their hands full. They've got Ohio State. And I think in their final game, being able to get a win if they don't get it against us, they've got to play Penn State. At least that'll be a home game for them. So, what's really interesting about a Schiano coach football team is that under Greg Schiano's leadership, Rutgers has scored 66 non-offensive touchdowns, right, including 15 since 2020.
That is an amazing number.
Yeah, and 3 so far this season. So special teams, defense, block kicks, they are amazing at the intricacies of doing the things that a team like that needs to do to be able to pull off an upset. And they have to be a Greg Schiano team that comes in here on Saturday and is crazy about how they do special teams to be able to win in this game.
All right. How do you see it all shaking out?
Well, they've got some pretty talented receivers. They got a really good quarterback, number 2 in the Big Ten in passing. I think they'll have a little bit of luck on the offensive side, even though they're going up against the number 1 defense in the country. But I think Ohio State is solid again in this game, and I've got 38 for the Buckeyes and 14 for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. 38-14, book it.
I'll tell you what, that's almost point on with what I was going to say. I think the line is 31.5. Jeff, I don't think they're going to cover because I think Ryan Day is going to pull a lot of starters in that second half, and I think it could leave a backdoor cover availability for Rutgers. I say Ohio State 40, Rutgers 16.
I like it, and I think your take on this is absolutely right. They would love to be able to rest some guys before the game that comes up at the end of the season.
All right, buddy. As always, thank you so much for your time. Give me a Go Bucks.
Absolutely. Go Bucks, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody.